Welcome to Monday. It is December 11th of 2023. I'm Dan Ramey, and in place of the icon Mike Smith today is the up-and-coming icon, Aaron Glandon.
Soon-to-be icon.
Soon to be. You've got this projected.
Yeah, the projections say by 2034, I will be the new icon.
Icon status in 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 10 years. Because
that's pretty much 10 years.
If you're shooting for January 1 of 2024.
Quarter 1, 2034.
Or 34.
Yeah.
That would be 10 years. So.
How long did it take Mike to become the icon?
Oh, golly. 45, maybe?
45 years?
Actually, it took about 10 seconds when he got here, because I think we started introducing him as the icon about that time. I don't know if he was considered an icon, but he was iconic.
Right.
But we just never had really called him an icon during our radio days. It wasn't until he started here we started calling him the icon. And then we started calling him the Micon, and it just never caught on.
That's not very good.
No. Well, that was a Lori Graves suggestion. So
I'm sorry. I thought it was Dan's idea.
No, it wasn't my idea. It was my idea to say, let's go with it and see if it sticks. It was like Teflon, man. It just skidded right off into the great unknown. All right, let's take a look at what's happening with our weather. And as we jump into it's colder today, doggone it. It was cold yesterday. I went out to church, and I thought, this wind chill has made a return after we enjoyed some decent weather on Friday and Saturday, temperature-wise.
The other day it was in the 30s, but there was no wind, and I was perfectly comfortable.
Big difference, isn't it?
It's a huge difference.
It certainly is. But we're looking at cloudy conditions to stay with us for a good part of the day, but some sunshine expected a little later on. Have high temperatures today reaching around 39 degrees. Into the evening hours, it's going to be in the 20s. I can feel my teeth starting to chatter already. But jumping into tomorrow, sunshine and 45. So, hey, it's December. Anything can happen. I remember splitting wood one time in December, and it was supposed to be like 20 below for whatever reason, but it was 78. It was incredible. Splitting wood in any temperature is not easy.
Right.
But you prefer to have it be around, kind of like running. You're okay with running when it's in its 40s. Mm-hmm. It's comfortable because your body temperature kicks in and the whole deal, and you just don't feel cold. Same thing with splitting wood.
But the negative 20 to 78 is a very big swing.
There's a wide gap there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I will tell you, when Dan Jr. was in the Air Force, he was stationed in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And I have a picture of him standing outside of an airplane at 64-degree temperatures. No hat on. You can take the boy out of Pike County, but you can't take the Pike County out of the boy. And then he would fly over to the desert where it would be 136 degrees.
Right.
You talk about a temperature swing. It's almost like when my wife was going through the change in that respect. Cool one moment, blazing hot the next. So I'm sure there's some ladies watching that understand what I'm talking about today. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll get you caught up to date with what's happening with news. We've got sports from over the weekend and what's ahead for this week as well. And this date in history is all coming up in a moment. But first, let's talk about our friends at Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Give them a call at 740-253-8389. They can provide a dumpster for whatever you have going on, whether it's residential or if it's commercial. They've got the size to suit the need that you have. When you're done filling it up, give them a call. They come back. They take it all away for you. It's that simple and easy. 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. News is next.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. Visit your local Skag dealer today. Skag, Simply the best.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Items making news for you today, which you can find on our website, littermedia.com. You can peruse through there. Also, keep up to date by following us on our social media, Facebook, Litter, Twitter, X, and also our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to find all that stuff out there. Let's begin with the place we're going later this afternoon for an open house. It is the Ross County Community Action, officially opening the Ross County Community Resource Center with a community open house this afternoon. It starts at 4 o'clock. Now, the center we were telling about last week that they were opening this. It's opening for a new homeless shelter. Will be open for clients beginning as early as tomorrow. We'll be stopping out to this open house. It's in the former Eastern Avenue Lumber Company building. And, of course, we'll bring back some video for use on our show tomorrow to keep you up to date. Waverly Police Department is in full Blitzmas. What the heck does that mean, right? Officers are passing out toys on their traffic stops through the month of December. Any and all donations go a long way. So when you see those lights flash behind your car, don't panic, because if you didn't do anything wrong, you may be being rewarded with a toy. We like that. If you'd like to make a donation, you can leave those donations at the Waverly Police Department there. This might be my favorite post from over the weekend. It was made by the Pickaway County Sheriff's Office. There you see the criminal, the Grinch. And I like the surveillance video. I believe they caught the Grinch at Walmart, if I'm not mistaken, in Circleville. And this was seeing and reading everyone's responses was absolutely a Christmas classic. But I have to remind people, the Grinch had his heart grow 3 sizes big. He's a good guy now.
Did you know there's a Grinch Halloween special too?
Yes.
I've never seen that until my friend pointed it out to me this year at Halloween. And I thought, what in the world?
We focus so much on who the Grinch used to be, but we forget about the fact that he turns into a good guy at the end of this whole thing.
Yeah. He kind of looks like Michael Myers in those pictures.
He does have that look, doesn't he? I wonder if it started with a Michael Myers mask over a Chewbacca mask.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
That's scary.
So again, my favorite post from over the weekend. They also happened to raise $2,600 through their No Shave November campaign, and they've turned those dollars into gifts for less fortunate families in Pickaway County. So hats off and salute to the Pickaway County Sheriff's Department. Chillicothe High School volleyball team is teaming up with the girls' softball and basketball programs to help with the JC Special Santa distribution. They'll meet at the Library Annex over on Paint Street tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. The event is from 6 until 7:30. It's good to see the teams getting involved and the coaches getting their kids involved in things like this, keeping them civic-minded because, let's face it, they're raising the kids to become the people that will run these programs when they're older. Pioneer Center Adult Recreation is conducting their Christmas party and talent show. It's coming up this Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. There will also be music, a 360 photo booth, and a gift exchange as well. If participating in the talent show, you'll need to RSVP with Trish Wallace. You'll see her email address on this photo right here. And you can find this also on our Facebook page. So don't forget to check that out. And it's the last opportunity. Well, not really the last opportunity. It's my opportunity to remind you to check out the Chillicothe Trolley and the Chillicothe City Holiday Lights Tour. The tour continues throughout the week. Don't forget, you need to reserve a reservation. Is that double?
You need to make a reservation.
Thank you. Be committed to making and keeping your reservation, which is required by giving me a call to the number that you see on the screen there. And option 4 is what you want to select.
And if you're listening to this on the radio, the number is 740-773-1569.
Said the kid with younger eyes than mine. All right, that's what's making news for you today. Coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at sports. And we've had a lot of basketball competition. Football is still going on. And wrestling has started. Details coming up. But first, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you right to their website, which, if you're listening on Litter Media Radio, that is accuratehvac.com, to find out more about the ability they have to make it comfortable in your home. Your trusted comfort advisor, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Sports next.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Well, as we mentioned to you, a lot of high school basketball activity taking place over the weekend. You can find the scores on our website, littermedia.com. Just click where it says High School Scores, and you'll see there was basketball played yesterday. Unioto, back-to-back losses on the boys' side of things. Federal Hockey picked up to win, along with South Webster, and Harvest Prep, a winner over Wheelersburg. Non-conference, you see Portsmouth had a win there over Fort Fry. But there is plenty of action in the SVC on Saturday for boys and girls. SVC played on Friday. You can find all that now at littermedia.com. And we had a Litter Media Game of the Week. Our season tip-off was up at Tays Valley. And I think we have some Litter Media extras available for you.
We had pictures of them, but not anymore.
They've disappeared? Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying.
Okay. But if you go to our YouTube channel, Litter Media on YouTube, you'll be able to see the interviews in the post-game with the players and the coaches from the Tays Valley Liberty Union contest, which was a barn burner right down to the wire. You looked like you were going to say something.
I wasn't there. I believe you, though.
But you were out and about. I was hitting Tays Valley, then went down to Circleville, and then you were out and about with girls and boys action.
I was at Chillicothe watching the Washington Courthouse and CHS game, getting some pictures, so we'll have them in our Litter Media library. Mm-hmm. And then I went over to Unioto to catch some of the Unioto and Zane Trace game, which was the opposite of a barn burner.
That is true. Yes, it was 55-6 at one point. And,
I got there and it was 55-6.
Yeah. In fact, all 4 of the SVC girls matches, there was wide disparaging, but as far as the score is concerned, there was a wide gap in each one of those games. So, we'll see how things play out for the season as it continues. We will tell you that Saturday night, I made my way over to Waverly High School, where they dedicated the floor to C.D. Hawhee. That's Carol Hawhee. And there you see his family, his daughter, along with his grandson and his wife and great-grandson for C.D. Hawhee Court. Had the chance to catch up with Bo Arnett and Willie Hobbs. Both of them were impacted by Coach Hawhee. In fact, Coach Arnett's dad coached along with him.
What do you think he would say about hearing about his gym floor being named after?
He wouldn't like it at all. He'd think it's too much, but it's long overdue, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
What kind of an influence did he have on you?
Well, I'm going to talk a little later tonight, so I don't want to give you my whole spiel, but he taught me so many things, and not just about basketball, about being a man. He was a good one.
We just called him Coach. He was known as Coach, not Mr. Hawhee or Coach Hawhee. He was just Coach. And he came here after World War II and coached all 4 sports. He was just an awesome individual that we all loved. And he demanded a lot out of you if you played for him.
That is Steve Lewis, the guy you see and hear us talk about so often. Steve Lewis on a boat somewhere. He was at the gymnasium Saturday night. And there is Randy Heath, former News Watchman, sports editor, broadcaster. He's the one who gave me my first play-by-play assignment when I worked at Waverly Radio back in the day. But Coach Hawhee, forever remembered, C.D. Hawhee Court. Now, that is a temporary design. When they resurface the floor, Bo Arnett was telling me that they're going to make a larger display down along the sideline of both sides of the court. So looking forward to that, and we'll probably go back when they do that, but it may not be for 3 or 4 years before they resurface that floor again. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah. That is really cool.
So congratulations to the Hawhee family. It was neat to see them and all those players. Bob Thompson, by the way, let me link some things together for you here. Coach Hawhee went to Morehead State. Bob Thompson had 4 brothers. His 3 older brothers all played ball at Morehead State. Mm-hmm. He played at Ohio State, and his younger brother, Denny, played at Ohio University. All 5 of these brothers played in the NCAA basketball tournament.
That's wild.
That is crazy. And, I mean, this was well before they expanded to 64 teams, and now 68. And so that is a story in itself that you need to learn at some point in time. And it was nice of Bob to make himself available. And Bob's older brother, Hecky Thompson, was the basketball coach at Western High School when my wife went there. And I had a chance to interview Hecky. This was a post-game interview with he and, Western was playing West Union. He was just coming back from his time off due to cancer. And it was his return, and it was one of the most awesome moments I had in interviewing any coach. And I was only a year and a half into broadcasting at the time.
You were a young pup.
I was a young pup. I ain't no more, that's for sure. All right, let's stay with Waverly. And the reason I'm saying this is because inside where you see the C.D. Hawhee Gymnasium is where the Waverly wrestlers have their competitions. Now, they were on the road this weekend. There on the left, you see Abby Green. She's involved with one of her competitions there. She finished a nice weekend. She found herself finishing 6th place in her weight class. And over on the other side, you see the kid in the orange and black, and that's the champion. We're talking about Alex Pee Wee Tolliver winning the 215-pound class at Mechanicsburg. And former Cavalier Scott Green is the head coach for the Waverly Tigers wrestling program. And, of course, there's Mindy Young. She's involved with the women's program. We introduced you to the girls this time last year. We did a feature on them, and that included Callie Farmer from Western High School. She placed 2nd in that match at Western Brown that they were all having there as well. So it's a close-knit community.
I'm curious about the kid on the right's socks. What are those?
That I can't tell you. It looks like some type of character. So Pee Wee, if you are watching this, type in who was, I don't know, is it Rugrats? It looks like a Nickelodeon type character of some sort.
It kind of looks like Stewie Griffin to me.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
But I'm not sure. It's too small. It's too far away.
See, they wear the wrestling singlets, but then when it comes time for something like this, they're all in their casual wear.
Right.
And you just never know what is going to be casual to some and to others.
Pajamas.
You see personality come out with them in this respect. The Columbus Crew end up MLS Cup champions for a 3rd time. and the second time since 2020. And they will have a parade tomorrow in downtown Columbus. That parade will go down West Nationwide Boulevard, circle back around to Lower .com Field, and they will have a rally at Chase Plaza. This should be a lot of fun. I watched some of the match. I didn't sit and watch it live. I was getting ready to head out to the Waverly because I think they had their first kick at 3 o'clock, or maybe it was 4 o'clock on Saturday. But I set the DVR to capture it, and scanning back through, man, it was not like you were watching anything in Columbus. It looked like you were watching someplace else. The electric atmosphere, it was awesome. Congratulations to this group,
and
the Columbus
Crew.
Crew.
What is hashtag Crew 96?
That is the year that they started, 1996.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, during the radio days, they came to Chillicothe, and we broadcast Columbus Crew games. And Dwight Burgess was the original play-by-play guy. I don't know if he's still involved or not. But, yeah. We'll have a little tie-in with a radio moment involving the Columbus Crew coming your way in a bit. But first, the OSU women. Basketball winners over Penn State, 94-84. The men suffered an 83-80 loss to Penn State. 6-2 Buckeyes were off until this Saturday with UCLA, speaking of the men. Congratulations to LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman Trophy Award. Mike said he really thought that Marvin Harrison had a shot. He got the Fred Biletnikoff Award on Friday, but it came down to, I think, the kids' numbers there from LSU. Like I said on the show last week, he had over 1,000 yards rushing, had over 3,000 yards passing. He was responsible for 50-plus touchdowns. That's kind of hard to go against.
Yeah, especially as a receiver. I mean, you can be the greatest receiver of all time, but quarterback stats are just different.
Yeah. Now, had Marvin Harrison Jr. had 40 touchdown receptions, that'd be something.
Right.
But it didn't happen that way. But congratulations to Marvin Harrison Jr. and winning what he did win and getting that trip to New York to be a part of the top four. He did finish fourth in that voting. Cleveland Browns held on for a victory last night, 31-27 over Jacksonville. To snap a two-game losing skid, they will be hosting the Bears on Sunday. Chicago picked up a win over Detroit yesterday for their fifth win on the season. The Bengals blasted the Colts 34-14 to stay a game back of Cleveland in the wild card. The Bengals are home with Minnesota Saturday. The Vikings edge the Raiders in an offensive juggernaut. 3-0 the final score. The points are scored with 1:57 left in the game. What were the odds makers saying in Las Vegas?
I don't know. I really want to see, there's been kind of I've seen on TikTok some hype about a potential 1-point safety. I want to see a 1-point safety in the NFL before I die.
I've never heard of a 1-point safety.
You've never heard of a 1-point safety?
I've heard of the 2-point safety.
A 1-point safety, there's a way that a team can end with 1 point in the NFL.
Is it by forfeiture?
No. If the opposing team scores a touchdown and they're kicking a PAT and the ball goes the wrong way and the kicking team recovers it in the opposite end zone and gets tackled, then the defending team is awarded 1 point.
I don't think I've ever seen or heard that happening before.
Well, it would be absurd because the ball would have to go basically 90 yards backwards.
Huh. Yeah, I guess it would.
I think the most realistic possibility is the PAT's blocked, the defending team takes it all the way back, but they're stripped on maybe the 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm. And then the other team would have to recover it
and then get
fall
tackled in
into the end zone and not be able to make it back out of the end zone for that to be but that would be a 2-point safety, would it not?
No, it would not.
Because of it being an extra point attempt?
Right. Or if it's just kicked out of the end zone. It'll never happen, but I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I know it's possible because I've tried it in Madden before.
Oh, and if you can do it on a video game, it's going to happen.
Well, they follow the official rules.
Where's my duct tape to wrap around my head to keep my brain from exploding there? Columbus Blue Jackets, we were holding off this information as best we could. 5-2 losers to the Florida Panthers. Jackets are 9-15-5. They'll travel to Toronto, where the Maple Leafs are 14-6-4. That match takes place on Thursday. And former Los Angeles Angels pitcher, fielder, Shohei Ohtani, he agrees to a $700 million contract, 10 years with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is the $70 million man per year. What would you do with all that money?
I don't know.
I'm not surprised that he stayed on the West Coast. I'm not surprised the Dodgers put that much money involved. I'll be surprised if he's there for 10 seasons.
10 years is a long time.
It is long. It's a
Can
decade.
change.
But if you want to reach icon status, like you started this program off, 10 years is not that long.
Well, I had some radio days in college.
Ah, okay.
On the campus radio station, 94.3. The Fortress.
The Fortress. In Indiana.
In Indiana.
Marion, Indiana. And the broadcast range went out to about how far?
I have no idea.
Was anyone listening?
We had a line where you could text in song requests, and I would say, text in your requests, and I would get no texts. So I'm not sure if people were listening.
So either they weren't listening or they
didn't care enough to text.
Or maybe they didn't know how to text.
Maybe.
It's a possibility.
It was contemporary Christian, so maybe the listener base just maybe skewed older.
Not always. I mean, contemporary Christian music, that hits young audiences.
I think it might have been the only Christian station in Marion, though.
That's probably a likelihood, yes. I'd be willing to say that.
Right.
All right. We'll talk more radio coming up in a moment, plus this date in history coming up as well. But first, these words from our sponsors.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Coming up, our Litter Media Radio moment for you, and we'll also take a look at this date in history right now as we go to post-World War II, 1946. The General Assembly of the United Nations votes to establish what is known as UNICEF, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, an organization to provide relief and support to children living in countries devastated by the war. There you see Maurice Pate. He is the first UNICEF executive director. I recall as a young boy going around and they gave us these little orange cans and you would collect for UNICEF during trick or treat.
Huh. That's pretty neat.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, so that was back in the 1970s for me. I'm talking early 1970s, walking around with that. I think it was a coffee can, if I'm not mistaken, and it had just a yellow parchment paper or whatever around it. Did I say yellow? Orange. And I think their tie was, the colors were orange and black, I think, for the UNICEF logo. And they thought, hey, why not? Halloween.
Why not?
Give me more than candy. Give me your change, make a donation.
I promise I'm not keeping it for myself.
Right. I don't know whatever happened to that money, to be honest with you. All right, we go from orange and black to orange and brown. This photo is when I had my chance meeting with Jimmy Haslam. He had just purchased the Cleveland Browns. And Jim Day and I were there in Cleveland at the stadium. And it was the radio network seminar for the Cleveland Browns radio network. And they said, and he's in the building, he may be stopping by. Jim Haslam meets with me. About this time, I'm introducing myself as Dan Ramey from Chillicothe, Ohio. And he says, Chillicothe, we're looking at putting a truck stop in there. Tell me about Chillicothe. At that moment, this is why you need to know everything about where you live. At that moment, I became the ambassador for the city of Chillicothe to a fellow who's bringing business to Chillicothe.
Did we get that truck stop?
You now know it as the Pilot truck stop on East Main Street.
So we have you to thank.
I wouldn't go that far, but I did put as much into it to make sure he came, and they did. And that's been, gosh, this was 2016, I think, 2015, thereabouts. And the reason we're bringing this up today is not for the story it is told, but Jimmy and his wife, Dee, are the owners of the Columbus Crew. They're the ones who saved the Crew and kept them in Columbus. They win the MLS Cup on Saturday. And I just got to think the next step is a Super Bowl for the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know about all that.
Wouldn't that be a great cap to the year, though? Win the MLS Cup, and then your other franchise wins a Super Bowl.
Dream big, Dan.
I've been dreaming big since 1962. 64 was when they won the championship, and I don't remember that because I was only 2 years old at the time. So I've only seen file footage. The other radio moment we have to remember, this popped up in my Christmas memories today on Facebook. This was one of my early Photoshop deals with Dan and Mike Christmas cookies. This was probably circa 2010.
That's pretty awesome. I don't know if I would eat those. It would just throw me off. I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
I kind of wonder if I were to do it again, of putting Mike's face where my face is and my face where Mike's face is, so we're kind of facing each other a little bit more.
Right.
This looks like we're kind of at odds. It's like two Christmas cookies that don't want to associate with each other, but they're touching one another because they've been thrown into the same cookie mix.
Yeah. Mike, that black and white picture of Mike makes him look real old-fashioned.
And very serious.
Yeah.
That looks back into the period of time that Mike has been etched for most of his life, when everything was black and white and color was only seen during The Wizard of Oz.
Mike's an avid Andy Griffith watcher, right?
He is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they had some episodes in color of that show.
Eventually they did, but most of them are in black and white.
My dad says the black and white ones are better.
They are.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. That's our This Stage in History and our radio moment for you. Don't forget we have Litter Media Radio, where you can hear a lot of the interviews, like one that we had earlier today will be up and running afternoon today, and that was with the Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. You'll have that ready to go?
I've already loaded it in the radio.
It's sitting, waiting for me to push a button. All right, so that's coming your way a little bit later on today. But you can, if you want to take a look and see, just go to our website, littermedia.com, click where it says Litter Media Radio, and it'll pop right up on your computer, and you can listen right there.
And if you're curious about that interview, it's on our YouTube channel right now, too.
Ah, very good. So you can see it before you hear it, all through Litter Media. That's it for the program today. Thank you so much for watching. For Aaron Glandon, the future icon, I'm Dan Ramey. Thanks for watching.